Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Episode 16. Yes, last time we got a little bit of character development, especially for Aang. We got obviously get used to Aang kind of being this goofy person, but actually not having major consequences, except with the freaking giant eel, obviously. But it was thankfully resolved gracefully, let's say. But actually, it's this one is something that we needed. Again, we only try to emphasize the good characteristic of Aang, in this case, his leadership skills with other episodes, his way of, I don't know, motivating their characters, or motivating the people that is around him, or, developing his craft, or developing his ability with the rest, obviously, of the bending. But this one is something that I actually like a lot. Again, I like when characters are flawed. And yes, we know that Aang was flawed, but this was even more important, at least for me. This was a major flaw that obviously comes from the fact that he's a kid, but is needed because he's going to face a lot of things. And he needs to mature a lot to face said things. Obviously, I'm speaking about the kind of selfishness, sorry, I don't know why I speak about the other one, of Aang, that he wants his friends all by himself, all for himself. He needs all of these. He needs the attention, that he got used to that attention. Obviously, without going further than that. Because yes, we know as an audience that their friends, his friends are not going to abandon him. They were willing to just, not seeing their father, just to go alongside with Aang, alongside with the Avatar. We know this, but obviously Aang didn't, and this last episode was absolutely necessary to cement that you need communication with your friends, you need to trust your friends, and you need all of that with your friends, not just with the people that is around you, because obviously not everybody is going to be your friend. But you need that, especially with the people that you consider close to you. So yeah, a great last episode, and I think that's something that I miss saying in my last commentary. So yeah, that's why I put it in the presentation. But anyway, yes, I am not going to go beyond this because I'm going to, get way too long into this one. And yes, the only thing I have to say just before the episode is, if you enjoy this and you enjoy my content, please subscribe and turn on notification, because again, YouTube is being kind of crazy with this stuff. So yeah, consider that subscription. Anyway, enough about this. Let's just watch the episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 16th episode of the series, and I love this episode. I genuinely do, because once again, just as I said during my presentation, I really enjoy these episodes that teach us the flaws of our characters, the flaws of our main characters especially. And yes, obviously this flaw, the impatience of Aang, is an obvious characteristic of kids, because yes, I know I said this a lot, but it's absolutely true. Aang is still a kid. He's 11 or 12 years old. So, for him to be patient makes a lot of sense, makes complete sense actually. And yeah, this is well portrayed in the episode. Obviously, we start with something that looks irrelevant, the festival, but this is obviously to move the plot forward, to move the plot beyond the point of the festival, or just them to be just appearing in the camp. Again, this is good storytelling, because it's not just appearing in the camp and just, oh yes, we find casually a master or a grandmaster that is a deserter from the Fire Nation. No, I love the situation they were put in, and obviously all the shenanigans that happened there. Again, perhaps it's just a fill time, but it's a well use of this time filling because it makes sense and it helps you to be engaged into the story. Now, moving on, obviously forward with the master. Yeah, obviously my huge mistake. I thought the master was this crazy guy that just found them in the town and was following them. I thought we were going to see the case that kind of a split personality or wanted to hide his own identity. But obviously I was way off. The master is another complete person. And yes, we saw those wanted posters, we saw the avatar, we saw the dude that found them and guide them towards this camp, and obviously we saw the master. We saw those 3 posters, and obviously we saw the I think it was the blue ghost, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously we know that it's Zuko, but the rest of the nation don't know. And then we meet the masters. And obviously, he's reluctant to teach Aang because he hasn't mastered the previous elements. I guess there is a reason why they must master this in this order. I don't know when the air comes into place. I don't know if it's the first one or the last one or the second to last one. I don't know. I don't know honestly the ideal order without including the wind, well the air, because yeah, obviously we know that Aang is pretty good at bending the air. So yeah, perhaps I will not figure it out, at least not within this case. Perhaps I will figure it out after the series. If the series doesn't teach me, I will investigate that on my own. Anyway, going back to the episode. Yeah, obviously the teachings was kind of forced to teach by the previous avatar. You must teach him because, yes, we need an avatar. We need a powerful avatar, and you need to teach him. And yes, I already mastered the elements 1,000 times in 1,000 lives. I don't know why, but that sounds so poetic, and I love the way it's announced. Yeah, I love that little moment. Anyway, moving forward, obviously, the teachings kind of make no sense. Why did you teach him to control fire? Why he did not teach him to move forward faster? But obviously he knows how dangerous fire could be. He needs discipline and he needs to learn his breathing. And this is something that was presented before by Uncle Iroh. The breathing is an important part in the firebending teachings, in the firebending mastering. And that's what this guy tried to do. Obviously, Aang did not understand that. He was in a hurry. He needed to know how to bend fire right now. But obviously, the teacher knew best. And he was, no, you need to discipline yourself. You need to discipline yourself. And when the teacher thought, and I'm saying teacher, yes, you're right, the Master Yongyo. I will try to refer him now forward. When he believed that Aang now has discipline, now that has the patience, he really said, okay, we will start to work with fire. But obviously, thanks to the attack of the Fire Nation, he could not supervise said training. And Aang, obviously being impatient again, just tried to bite more than he can chew, and of course end up hurting Katara by trying to show enough. Obviously, he regret that. And again, I don't know how the people react to this episode. I don't know how people react to Sokka in general. I really like Sokka, and this is one of the instances that I like him about him. Yes, I like Aang. Yes, I like Katara. But again, it's a very natural way to react. Sokka reacted because somebody hurt his sister. And he was violent because, come on, you cannot hurt my sister anymore. Yes, you're my friend, but she is my sister. I know her for all my life. Or at least all her life. I guess it would be more correct. So, yes, again, I don't know how people reacted to this when it was aired, but I'm, again, with Sokka on this one. Aang went way ahead of himself, and these are the consequences of said impatience. I love how the master again figured out that yeah, the Fire Nation attack, and they start to repel them. He ran away, but obviously Aang was left alone with... I don't know if General Zhao is considered a master, but he's a pretty good bender. I don't think so. I don't know why. Perhaps because he lost against Sokka, and perhaps because again he's very impatient. And my guess, yeah, for you to be a master, you need to be something else. Yeah, he's a very very powerful bender, but I don't think he's a master. And I love how Aang used the previous knowledge of Zhao to defeat him. Perhaps not personally. He did not beat him. He did not just overcome the power of the fire and just overwhelm the power of the fire with his air. But he really damaged his pride and damaged his ships by just avoiding the attacks. And this is a great way of learning. Obviously, they run away, and that's when the rest discover that actually Katara has a healing ability. Again, I love how this show is making Katara grow. I thought at the beginning that Katara was the one who is receiving less character development or less growth in any regard, but actually we are seeing a lot from her. Yes, she's disciplined, yes, she is patient, but we have seen her bad side too. But I love how she's been growing by training and in the background. And she is developing more and more of her abilities. And that is fascinating. That yes, we are seeing Aang growth, but we have seen alongside the growth of other characters. And yes, we have seen Sokka growth, obviously not as a vendor, but as a character too. But I think we are focusing more on Aang, for obvious reasons, and on Katara. I don't know why, but I think we are focusing on those two. And yes, obviously the abilities. She has more abilities than any normal waterbender. She hasn't been able to develop these abilities because she doesn't have a teacher. Obviously, after the recovery of this scroll, she can teach herself, and we have been growing. I doubt that this scroll has the healing abilities because perhaps this is a very rare gift among waterbenders. But yeah, she has been growing. Now, I love a portion of the episode when we have the chat between Master Young and between Katara. Katara obviously is a waterbender, and we have seen in this entire series that the Fire Nation do not consider the rest of the bending as valid. They consider savage, they consider them inferior to them, and they want to eradicate all of this. We have seen that before. But I love the take of Master Young in this case. He considered the firebending the savagery, the one that could put you into savagery. He considered waterbending very civilized because it cures. It doesn't destroy, it just cures and brings life. And he considered the fire the only thing that will destroy. It is the opposite of water, obviously. For him, that he just brings destruction, and it just brings destruction and pain and chaos and all of that. But I disagree with him in this case. Yes, obviously the Fire Nation are taking the wrong stance with fire bending. They are taking, obviously, that is the unique ability, that is obviously the only one who is civilized. I disagree with that, obviously, too. But water could be dangerous as well. It takes more time, but water is extremely powerful. Come on, water created the Great Cannon. The power of water is such greatness that it could erode rocks, it could destroy rocks. And he has done that. You can drown into water with too much water. water is dangerous if it's out of control too. Fire, on the other hand, could be beneficial too. It, for especially humans, it destroys bacteria that could be on meat. It could bring warmth to a certain place. And it could bring life too. Because yeah, he mentions the sun. And the sun brings life. Without sun, we will not be living here. At least not like this. Both have their dangerous side, obviously. Fire out of control, yes, it's extremely dangerous. But water out of control is extremely dangerous too. So yes, the point of all of this is balance. And that's, I think I'm starting to understand the Avatar. And I mean the Avatar, the character, what they try to portray in the Avatar. The balance of all the elements, because all elements are beneficial, but they could be dangerous too. So I'm starting to understand again the purpose of the character of the Avatar in this series, which is obviously fascinating. And I love this series because yes, they are not taking the stand that everything is dangerous or everything is safe. No, they are teaching you that there must be a balance always. Now, my last point after this. Yeah, we're still to see a glimpse of the indoctrination of the Fire Nation. We obviously, as spectators, outside observers, we know that the Fire Lord is evil, is the bad guy, is ruthless, is terrible, he has no compassion. We know that. But for somebody within the Fire Nation especially, he could be the savior. He's the protector of people. And that's what we saw in the puppet show. I think that is important that we saw that little detail. Again, that's why I am fascinated by little details. Because again, that shows us the indoctrination of the Fire Nation. Of children, that we say, oh no, poor Fire Lord, he's going to be attacked, but oh yay, he burned the enemy. Again, this is very dangerous, and it's showing us every side of everything. I like the show even more than before for those small details. Anyway, I think I really exhausted the topic of this episode. I hope you enjoy it. It's been a very long commentary, honestly. But yes, again, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and obviously leave a comment so we can discuss what is going on with Avatar. And obviously, if you enjoy the rest of the content of the channel, consider a subscription and obviously turn on notification because again, YouTube is kind of screwing everybody around except for the big channels, and obviously, and I don't mean the big channels, but I mean back it up by big CEOs like CBS and all of that. So yeah, consider a subscription and notifications on. Anyway, yes, I have nothing else to say, but thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoy it, and see you on the next one. Bye!
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like, so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.